Welcome back, guys. I'm sitting at my favorite spot of making videos, and that means I'm gonna make a very good video this time. How many times do you hear women complaining about the idea that why do men sleep around and get celebrated for sleeping with different girls, and when a woman do it, everybody starts bullying her? It's so unfair. In this video, I'm going to talk about that. And when do I start? I start right now. You wanted the truth and now you got it. Guys, before I tell you the truth, let me take you back to 3,000 years ago when we were not civilized, when we didn't have all these smartphones, all this great technology, when we didn't live in a much safer world. I want to take you back to when the world was not safe. Men and women really needed each other. Yeah. So I've got to take you there to make you understand why men who sleep around were admired and women who sleep around were looked at as disgusting. You see, back then, men were the hunters. So you know that men were built to have a large frontal cortex compared to women. That means we are more far capable of critical thinking. We are far capable of direct thinking, direct working, problem solving in general. That's why women want us to be solving their problems. Not necessarily today, but I'm talking about 2,000 years ago. So what happened is that because men could hunt, when a guy could hunt, he had to be fit. That's why women have this desire for guys who are tall and fit and handsome. It comes from far, guys. It didn't start today. Because the guy who was tall and fit, he could hunt and he could fight for food. So when he comes back to the villages, women would throw themselves at him. And for that reason, another woman watching from a distance, she would know, oh, they're throwing themselves at him because somehow he's awesome and he's got something. I want him too. So women would throw themselves at a guy who other women were throwing themselves at. And that's still happening today. If a guy has a girlfriend, girls want him. A guy he's single, nobody wants to talk to him. So that's why men who sleep around are desired, because somehow it tells women instinctively that there's something awesome about him. Now, what about a woman who sleep around? Why do we men have this deep hatred for women who are sleeping around? Easy. Because in the past, a man had to dedicate his entire resources to providing for a family. So any sign of a woman who was sleeping around would make the man angry, because it would increase the chances that he might not be the father of his children. And because the man had to provide everything for the family, he hated any sign he would see on a woman that she might be sleeping around. And even though we live in a more civilized world today where men and women can provide them for themselves, we as men still have that deep hatred for women who sleep around, because it reminds us that, hey, you might not be the father of your children. So yeah, even though the world has changed, we have civilized the entire world, deep inside we are still the same biological creatures we were about 3,000 years ago. And that's basically why men hate women who sleep around, and we find that disgusting. And women desire us when we sleep around, yet they are the first one to complain. Come on, everybody knows women want a player. But when she gets the player, she wants to turn him into a coach.